words, can it damage your brand if it's not used carefully? Yeah, that's a great question, and the answer is yes, absolutely. For example, uh, if you're using and posting sensitive client information in your chats, right, with the ChatGPT bots, or whether it's client information or strategy documents or confidential data, one thing you need to know is that AI tools store this information, and that AI tool is training on the information, on the inputs that you give it. So guess what? You just created a liability. And if that AI tool uses that information or that language out to another user, that's you on the hook. That's your brand on the hook. Uh, Disclosing your client's sensitive information could lead to severe risks and litigation that you would be facing if your client finds out about it. I know recently in the news there was a marketing team, I think, that was caught using AI, writing proposals, and then a few months later, almost identical language popped up in a competitor's campaign. And not because it was copied, it was because both of the agencies were using the same chat bot in order to create this output. And that chat bot was trained on both users' information. And so the bottom line here is that for your company, you need to have a policy. You need to have a strict policy on when and under what conditions can AI be used, what information can be submitted. For example, if you're going to use a case study like your client, do not use your client's real name. Don't use your client's address or information or social security number or other identifying information. Use generic information, right? In other words, change that story up so that it fits kind of your situation and your fact pattern, but you don't use your client's name and readily identifiable information. That's just crazy. So don't avoid feeding that sensitive data because these are public platforms. And one thing that you can assume is that everything that you type in there into your chatbot could end up being used somewhere else. So that's what you need to know in order to protect yourself and your clients.